Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. The Alpha 3.23.1a patch seems to be holding up pretty well, and XenoThreat has been released. It's now on the live servers as well. It's extremely playable. Servers aren't on fire for the most part. It's completable, and that's my experiences of it anyway. And from what I've seen and heard, XenoThreat has received some updates, so let's talk about what's going on. It does appear to have some PvP problems, this latest event, although it's obviously a rerun of the latest event with some updates. Star Citizen is supposed to have an element of PvP with pretty much everything. There's a level of PvP that might occur with most things, although in the future there's going to be lots more safe areas and places where it's very unlikely to occur, stuff like that. But the issue is that this event is more geared towards PvE, and more gameplay systems and gameplay area needs to come online to be able to deal with regulating PvP in areas and events that aren't supposed to have as much. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a moment. So, XenoThreat Assault on Stanton, that's effectively phase 6 of the Overdrive initiative. Up until really recently, the previous 5 mission sets were being run of the Overdrive initiative, and they're no longer running, at least currently. So bear that in mind. It's just phase 6, the sort of Assault on Stanton, the XenoThreat incursion that's now running, which we'd previously seen in game and now has been updated. But this is a group server-wide open mission and doesn't require you to have played any of the previous missions. You can join in just by yourself and come and help other people do it, or you can get a big group or join with your org, whatever. Basically, you respond to the priority mission that will appear in your Moby-Glass about the XenoThreat Assault on Stanton. You'll then go to Jericho Station, where basically you'll then travel to nearby Nebula and a set of Starfarer wrecks. XenoThreat will attack here, and they'll also attack the Javelin that's in dock at Jericho every so often. So you need to protect people that are doing stuff in the wrecks, you need to take out the XenoThreat attack, and you need to protect that Javelin. At the wreck site, you'll want to scan for enemies and the cargo on the ships there, because you want to take a specific amount of cargo back to Jericho Station, back to the Javelin there, and basically fulfill its buy order. You'll board the wrecks, you'll extract the cargo, get them back to Jericho. There are updates to the cargo as well since the last time this was run. There are now large boxes of Dynaflex as a material, which is basically like heavy armored plates. It's just in big boxes. You'll need a tractor beam to move those containers, but also generally to move other containers more easily, but you can pick up a load of them by hand. You'll need to have a ship with a bit of cargo space, or at least put those boxes on a ship with some cargo space, then bring it back to the Javelin. Be careful though, because that cargo might require specialist handling. There's a Krilloplex, which you can tell which it is because it's got like blue lasers in it. It's impact and heat sensitive, so it can go boom quite easily. There's Zeta Prolonade, which this is obvious because it's got green tubes in it. It's time sensitive. After a certain amount of time, it's just valueless. It's no longer useful. There's Dilithium-X as well, which is sort of like a metal sphere in a kind of tube almost. That can't be taken into quantum travel, or it explodes. So you've got to take it there with just your engine power rather than quantum traveling. So be aware of that. And also, if you are transporting cargo, some people might put that onto your ship and you not be aware of it. So try to keep an open mind. And then there's Dynaflex, which is the big boxes. You'll need to land at Jericho Station and interact with the trade terminal there to sell the cargo. And then once the Javelin is fully rearmed, you can join it in a full-on fleet battle against XenoThreat, including Idrises and stuff like that can be in that battle. Now, you can now either take all those ships out, to sort of win, or you can board the Idris and take out the commanders there as an alternative to blowing them up. In the future, this might be one of the ways of securing your own Idris. If you've completed the 5 previous Overdrive Initiative missions, then completing the XenoThreat incursion as well will secure you a set of medium XenoThreat armor for your account. And yeah, they might be running those events again in the future, like all as one big contiguous event. So the 5 Overdrive missions and then this one immediately afterwards. There's something I do want to talk about here as well, because there are a lot of issues with PvP this time around. So the event was supposed to have like a lot of players working together to try and complete it, and it is more focused on PvE. When someone PvPs though, and sort of gets involved effectively on XenoThreat's side, they're taking up a slot of someone that could have been helpful, and then you need to take some of your manpower away from trying to complete this to defend against that PvPer as well. And those PvPers have a big advantage when you're loading cargo onto one of your ships. That ship can be just statically there, just chilling out. There's obviously some explosive and dangerous cargo that you might be moving. Yeah, the XenoThreat supply section of this mission doesn't work too well with PvPers. And I've seen lots and lots of posts about people decrying that, much more than I have previously. And obviously some people are sort of, yeah, this is really fun, or they join with a large org or whatever, so they don't even have PvPers on their servers because they've taken up all the slots themselves, or if they do have PvPers, they're swamped out by a load of sort of players doing the XenoThreat mission. There does need to be regulation in place for people that want to do PvP generally in game, and for things like this. Like, should there be a level of PvP with XenoThreat? Well, CIG seem to think so, and I wouldn't want to lock it out, but you want to regulate it so that it is in a particular way, a particular amount of players can get involved with it. And there's lots of stuff they can do gameplay-wise to prevent PvPers turning up and ruining your day in certain areas of the game. Won't be so much of a problem once they've got a more developed lore system, once they have more of a gameplay area and more sort of zones where they go, well, this is much more Wild West, this is much more PvP, this is much more illegal activity. Well, these zones are much more safe and very unlikely to see pirates or criminal players. Anyway, really interested to know your experiences with XenoThreat so far. There is a Civilian Defense Force ship sale on at the moment as well. The Avenger Titan is available from $60. This is one of my favorite StarEngine ships. Really, really like it. I think it's just really great at being a nice entry-level ship that can do a little bit of everything. Got a nice upgrade path. It's relatively good in a fight. It's got cargo space. Absolutely love it. If you want to go something a bit more advanced and bigger, C1 Spirit. I really like the ship, and I really like the Drake Cutlass Black as well. $125 for the C1 Spirit. I sort of love both those ships, the Spirit and the Cutlass. But yes, C1 Spirit, very cool, pretty looking ship. You got the Constellation Andromeda, which is much more of a multi-crew ship, sort of scaling up, good in combat. Got a little P-52 snub with it and an Ursa rover, and it's got a reasonable amount of firepower. $240 though, quite expensive. Got an Eclipse, which is absolutely fantastic as this stealth torpedo terrifying ship that can really wreck a capital ship's day. $300 though, incredibly expensive. Is on Warbond sale as well for Warbond upgrades are available for $25 less. So if you're so inclined, that is available. But you can get all these things in game, so just be aware, get all this in game. There's the F7C Hornet Mark II, $175 for this new version of the Hornet Medium Fighter. It is pretty good, even though it's been tweaked a bit now to be less OP. Well, at least the F7A has been tweaked to be less OP. The M2 Hercules, $520. It's a cool transport ship, very useful for XenoThreat, but it is very expensive. It is $35 cheaper at the moment for Warbond upgrade version. There's Reclaimer, $400. Why would you want a Reclaimer at XenoThreat? Well, because there's lots of shipwrecks that you can make a lot of money from. There's also the Vulture, $175 for that small, light sort of salvage craft, but you're going to be making a load of money with that as well. The Reliant Tana, $75 for a sort of like a light skirmisher. I don't like the Reliant series personally. I know a lot of people love them. You've got the Retaliator, $175 for this interesting, now modular sort of flying fortress, but it can be set up as a cargo ship, it can be set up as a torpedo ship. It's got more modules coming in the future. It's also $15 cheaper if you get a Warbond upgrade at the moment. You've got the Scorpius Antares, which is that EMP / quantum dampener ship hybrid. Cool heavy fighter as well. $230. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. Vanguard Harbinger, if you want something that's sort of pretty high firepower as a heavy fighter, it's two-seater, the Vanguard series. This has got a lot of missiles. This has got a lot of sort of heavy weapons. You've got the Hoplite, $240, more of the dropship version of the Vanguard series. And then you've got the Sentinel. This is sort of the E-War version, $275 for that. The Warden, sort of the standard kind of durable version, supposed to have a detachable sort of escape pod. The sort of Sentinel module is also escape pod. At least that's originally what's supposed to be $260 for that. You've also got a couple of quite big sort of ship packs. The Wolf pack with the Gladius, Avenger Titan and Hurricane. It also comes with FPS gear, paints and 2-year insurance. You've got Big Guns ship pack, which comes with the Constellation Andromeda, the Redeemer, and the Vanguard Sentinel, as well as FPS gear, paint and 2 years insurance as well. So this is the best I've seen XenoThreat in general in ages, at least functionality-wise. If you play this with a large group or an org, you're going to have a great time. Trying to do this on a random server, you're much more at the mercy of other players doing it. And if they're not, And obviously if PvPers come along, they can ruin your day a lot more easily if you're just like on a random server and you don't know everyone. I know some people were having rubber banding issues during the fleet battles, but I played this through and I was having a pretty good experience myself. I think it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag. Star Citizen's now for a reason, and they are obviously moving on to server meshing and a load of those network updates for 4.0, which is going to be in our hands in the not too distant future, potentially by the end of summer. I don't know how long XenoThreat's going to be running for this time, but potentially for the rest of June, so a couple of weeks. We do know that Jumptown is also likely going to be run pretty soon after XenoThreat. I would also personally expect the full Overdrive initiative with all phases, so the first 5 and this one, to all be run contiguously again in the future. Will it have the F7A Mark II upgrade and the XenoThreat armor as a reward? Quite possibly. They do want you to be able to get rewards like that in-game, whether it be gold tickets for the F8, whether it be the upgrades like this with the F7A Mark II. I like stuff that can be obtained in-game. Obviously, it can aid their marketing at the same time. It's an interesting one. But I'm really interested to know what you think. Are you buying anything from the CDF ship sale? Are you enjoying XenoThreat? Have you had a terrible time? Have you had a great time? Are you PvPing in it and really enjoying that? Are you sort of getting involved with that on either side and saying, yeah, it's really great. Oh no, this is horrible. Have you had your day ruined by PvPers in XenoThreat? I personally think PvP should be allowed. I just want more things in place to help guide it to be in the right area at the right time. And obviously not all those sort of guardrails and things are in place yet to make these events exactly what they need to be. And there's not enough for PvPers to do in the verse yet. But hopefully all of that will come together in the future, and I'm much more of a PvE player myself. But yeah, tell me what you think in the comments below, whatever your opinions are. I'm interested in hearing them. Also, Tobii eye trackers, they're on sale at the moment, so check out the links down below to get yourself a eye tracker which is natively supported in Star Citizen and gives you precision eye and head tracking, not just for Star Citizen, but for other games and things as well. And if you're looking for a VPN, go no further. Well, go further, get NordVPN from nordvpn.com/BoredGamer, or use the links below. Helps support the channel. It's a VPN that I use, giving you better securities and privacies and accessibilities of the interwebs. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you will enjoy 3.23.1a and XenoThreat. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and for June we are giving away a Freelancer Miss, which is a fantastic little multi-crew missile boat. We're also bundling this with a Pulse, the little tiny bike with the big laser on it. You'll get lifetime insurance on both of those and a Star Citizen game package. So all you need to play Star Citizen, all you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during June. Good luck to you. Also, if you want to further support the channel, please consider clicking the join button under my videos. It really does help. There's also Patreon on loads of affiliate links and stuff like that down below in the video description and in the comments, so check those out, and that helps the channel out too. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great June. Thank you for watching to the end, and don't forget to click all the things down below, or at least the things you want to click on.